Okay, so tell me, why do you love Ducati so much? Like, you've only been buying Ducati since 2016 now, and this is what, your fourth, and we've also booked our fifth one. So, why is the question?
Good question, actually. I mean, this question has been haunting a lot of people. And this is the fourth Ducati that we picked up, and the fifth one would be the Desert X. So, before I answer that question, let me show you guys what some of my friends from the Ducati club that I am a part of think about why Ducatis, right? Why have they bought Ducatis? And these are people who bought multiple Ducatis themselves, right? And then I'll come back to my assessment and my reason to stick to Ducatis. Very brutally honest reason to why I have stuck to Ducatis only. Yeah. So let's watch what these guys say and then come back. Okay. Why did you pick up a Ducati?
Dream bike, dream brand. So after riding almost 13, 14, 15 years of Royal Enfield and 1 year of Triumph, I finally had to settle for a Ducati.
Okay, so you are saying that it was your dream bike and dream machine, so aspirational bike.
See, I have been a very technology oriented person, so I have affiliation towards high-end technology, and Ducati happens to be a brand which represents high-end technology in motorbikes.
Okay.
Plus, the delivery and everything, the overall package suited to me or fascinated me, and that's why I went for it whenever I could.
Which would be your another bike, the next bike that you buy? Will it be a Ducati?
Yeah, if I'm able to rob a bank, definitely yes.
If not?
If not, then I will ask my son's in-laws to gift me a Ducati.
All right, thank you.
Somehow I can't connect any other brand, or if you mean the quality and if you mean the engine and the love for that throttle which I get from any of the, even the low powered bikes, I don't feel it in any other brand.
Okay.
I don't mean to demean any other brand, but the love for Ducati is something else which I have in my mind.
All right, thank you. What are you enjoying about Ducati?
Yeah, riding that. Right.
Why not any other motorcycle?
I don't have any other one.
No, any other brand, I mean. Why not a BMW or a Triumph or a Kawasaki or any other brand?
आवाज ही ऐसा नहीं लगता है दूसरों का.
आवाज ही पसंद नहीं है. Okay, you like the sound of the Ducati, the L-twin, Brap. What would be your next bike? Would it be a Ducati or a...
Ducati.
Ducati only?
DFL.
You guys should go to... I mean, Ducati Italy should invite you people to Italy. Thanks, man.
Actually, I am riding the Africa Twin. That is very lean and very even power. But when you want to do masti, the Ducati is the perfect machine. It is actually a race company, so they make the machines and the engines very talky and I love the fun.
Okay, so you like the engineering behind the
Yeah.
brand. All right, all the best, man. Thanks.
Nothing gets better than an Italian machine. Being a biker forever now, discovering, learning, everything I kind of freeze on, it has to be Ducati. So much experience that is mentioned everywhere around, and so much friends that I have into biking. Highly spoken about, tried myself, tested, been with the club for 4 years. Been a pleasure all this while.
Okay, so you basically are a die-hard Ducati fan.
Absolutely,
Fanboy.
sold and how.
So, any chance of going beyond Ducatis, or only you'll stick to Ducatis for now?
Well, nothing that has really appealed me. But with Desert X coming in, I think I'm assuring myself for the next 5 years Ducati, hands down.
Okay, thanks, man.
Thank you.
What I feel is the engineering what the Ducatis have and the efforts what the Ducati engineers bring in. So I ride a 2013 motorcycle, but the way it performs and the electronics what it has doesn't, no other bike has it in 2013. So
So superior tech and superior engineering is what
I need. So Ducatis I think is much more superior in electronics and the aesthetics part.
I mean, what do you like about Ducatis? What do you like about the Monster? And why did you buy a Ducati? Why not any other motorcycle?
I loved the raw power of the Monster. The moment I rode it, I was like, this is my bike. This is my first bike. And I fell in love with it the moment I rode it.
Okay, yours is the 821, is it?
Right, 821.
That was raw power machine. Which will be your next machine, next motorcycle?
It's going to be the Hyper.
Hyper?
Yes.
The 950.
Yes.
Why?
I think it has raw power again. Plus, it's easy to maneuver in the city. It's a perfect bike, and I think it'll be easier for my kind of a build where it'll be a little lighter compared to the monster which I'm riding now.
I think they are really unbeatable when it comes to design and performance. They have done so well, even in international racing, and even as a brand in themselves, they are something a little different than what anybody else is. That's the reason why we've stuck to it. What happened is when a dealership came to Pune, it became very easily accessible, the motorcycles, because I had actually test ridden a Ducati Monster in Bombay. But that time there was nothing in Pune, and I was told that this is about 8 years of odd back. And I was told that for servicing I'll have to go back to Bombay and bring that, and I just wanted something which is more friendly, and it had to be like the experience of having owned a bike, dealership, service and all. It makes a difference when you have it.
So ownership experience is the key.
Ownership experience, it makes a huge difference.
Heard what my club buddies have to say about their point of view and reasons for why Ducati. Here's my point of view. Okay, I'll break it into points. Point number 1 is aspirational brand value. Point number 2 is the community connect that Ducati has. Point number 3 is overall ownership experience. And point number 4 is a summary of everything with their Ducati's design elements, the range of products that they have to offer, their engineering proficiency, the racing gene, everything. Now let me break it down for you. Point number 1, aspirational value. If you look at us Indians and India as a nation, we are a very young nation. When I say young nation, what I mean is we've secured our freedom and independence only 75 years back, right? So that's extremely young. And if you look at any geopolitics today, any nation which has secured their freedom recently, you'll realize that the citizens of that nation are typically people who would continuously want to aspire for bigger and better things. They would want to continuously keep improving themselves, right? So I used to ride smaller machines in the past, and I always aspired to own a big machine someday in future. And Ducati has managed to pitch themselves in a way where they've beautifully marketed themselves as an aspirational brand, right? Unlike most of other brands, Ducati is looked up as a premium aspirational brand. So yeah, obviously, it was a dream brand to own someday. Not brand, but a dream machine to own someday. That's why Ducatis. That's the aspirational brand. Point number 2 is the community connect. Again, if you look at us Indians, we are designed or wired in a way in our head where we are extremely community focused, right? We always want to be connected with our communities, with our people. Look at anything. I mean, we are a multicultural nation, right? Look at the platforms that were created to make sure that the community comes together. Talk about Holi, talk about Ganesh festival, talk about Diwali, Eid, Christmas, any of these platforms. Most of these platforms were created in India from a perspective to get the community together. And somewhere, that's how we've been brought up. So for me also, as a person, I love my connect with my community, with like-minded people, where I can share my experiences, learn from people, so on and so forth. Very few brands have managed to, kind of create that community connect. One of the brands was Royal Enfield, and I was a part of the Royal Enfield community. The other global brand who has a very strong community connect and grip is Harley Davidson. And the third brand is Ducati, right? Now, if you look at Ducati's, community platforms, they've got something called as a Desmo Owners Club, DOC, right? Chapters in each country, city. They'll have these clubs that they click on. And they have a very strong hold on that community. They invite these people, they engage with the customers, with the club guys, the leads, to understand what the club is saying, what the community is saying, what the customers are saying about their machines, so on and so forth. In Pune, it was me who started, the Ducati Owners Club, along with a few friends. And as a design, this entire DOC structure is such that the community and the dealers work hand in glove. So the previous dealer of Ducati in Pune, which was Bavaria, when we triggered this club, Ducati Owners Club in Pune, the Bavaria team and us were working very closely with each other to trying to decide what the charter should be, what the decorum of the club should be, what type of riding and ethics that we should follow as motorcyclists, so on and so forth. And now the current dealer that we have in Pune is Legacy, who's basically a good friend. I mean, he was a part of our club, and he landed up buying the dealership for Pune. So I have a very good connect with that person, right? And that makes my ownership experience of buying a Ducati extremely fruitful and easy. So, when I say that, try and understand this. Buying a motorcycle is not that difficult. Anybody can buy a motorcycle. But living with the motorcycle that you buy is extremely difficult. And what do I mean by that is, you'll buy an expensive machine, but if you don't get good service backup, good spares support, a good platform for you to enjoy the motorcycle and machine that you bought, then what's the use of that bike? If it's parked in your garage because of unavailability of a part or a spare, then it's of no use. Not many brands have managed to capture that space in the Indian market. If you compare it with Ducati. So if somebody comes and tells me tomorrow that I'm buying the Ducati because it's got a very strong racing gene, I would not buy that point, because that's one of the factors, but it cannot be the deciding factor. And the reason is, if you look at any the best epitome of racing platforms today in the world, be it MotoGP or WSBK, right? Who's been dominating these platforms? WSBK has been dominated by Kawasaki's. Okay, so Kawasaki is also a competitive product. The MotoGP platform has been dominated by Yamahas and Hondas. So where is Ducati there, right? It is there by the law of probability. So almost 50% of the motorcycles on the MotoGP grid today are Ducatis, right? So by the sheer law of probability, their chances of winning the Constructors' Championship is very high, and they are pumping in that amount of effort on that platform. So definitely racing gene, but are they the best, or is there nobody else who can compete with the Ducati on the racing platform? The answer is no. There are Yamahas, Hondas, Kawasaki's which are equally competitive products. Zeus agrees. And hence I will not buy that argument that Ducati's racing gene is the only reason why somebody buys the bike, right? It has to be a collective a collection of multiple factors which decide. So for me, now if I were to summarize, because Ducati has been an aspirational brand, that's one deciding factor for me. Second is because I get an extremely strong community connect with the machine. So I get to go every Friday evening and hang out. That's my me time with my club buddies. Hang out with these guys, talk about motorcycles, talk about Ducati engineering, talk about issues that we are facing, talk about performance modifications, sharing experiences, learning on the go is something that really excites me. Okay, and that's why the second piece is the community connect, and obviously the dealer is close, so my life becomes extremely easy, resulting into a good ownership experience, right? So that's the third point. And finally, obviously, Ducati is as competitive and as good as a Kawasaki or a Yamaha or a Honda, the best of the best today in the market, in the big bike section. They have a variety. And last point is they have a variety of products to offer. So if you look at what bikes I owned a Multistrada, okay, which is an adventure tourer. Then I graduated to a Panigale V4, which is a track-oriented machine. So I experienced track with it. Then I got a Desert Slate for my weekend, short rides and club meet rides and small commutes. It's a soft off-roader, extremely capable machine. And this is the fourth machine, which is a hypermotard. Now this I can take it to the track also, and this I can use it for my small commutes also. Recently I did a big ride on it. You must have seen some other videos around my experience with this. And the fifth one that I have booked now is the Ducati Desert X, which is the most exciting launch in the motoring world today in 2022, right? It's a mid-size adventure tourer, which is more focused towards the off-road, right? With a 21-liter front tank and an 8-liter auxiliary tank, inspired by the Dakar dynamics, you know. So that's my fifth machine. And will I buy any other motorcycle other than a Ducati? The answer currently is a no, because you know, I'm happy with the range of products that Ducati is offering and the community that I have whom I get to hang out with. So I'll continue to buy Ducatis. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.